This is Sports Charlotte, the podcast about sports in Charlotte. My name is Herb White. I'm editor-in-chief at the Charlotte Post. This is Cameron Williams, who's a staff reporter at the Post. It is September 18, Thursday, 2025, and we are mere hours away from Thursday night football in Charlotte. And no, it does not include the Carolina Panthers. It is the Charlotte 49ers against the mighty Rice Owls. Okay.
That don't sound right.
Okay. But at any rate, it's a national stage for Charlotte and Rice on ESPN, on one of their major channels. And I would imagine that college campuses, being the places that they are going to be pretty excited about having national television, national media show up on campus tonight to watch football.
I would assume so. I know Sports Center is going to be out there at 2:30, one of those two times. So they'll be doing that right there on like the big quad, like as you're going to the student union. So it's the second time Sports Center's been there in 2 seasons. So that's kind of a neat thing for Charlotte, considering prior to moving to the American Conference, you never heard of Charlotte on ESPN. I mean, so it's a big step, and to be playing a team that is not super highly favored, it should be a relatively competitive game. I would at least hope so. I'd hope Charlotte doesn't get blown out on national television, because that can only hurt recruiting. It can only hurt eyes on the program as a whole. So, but overall, my thoughts on this game, I think it should be close. I'm not predicting a Charlotte win. I think Rice, their unique style of offense, we'll get into this a little bit more, and just the way their offense can kind of hurt teams. But I just think it's going to be too much for the Charlotte 49ers and the quick turnaround they had to do, having played Saturday, a couple quick practices, and then you turn around and play Thursday. So I would think Rice is going to win this game, but I think it's going to be close.
On the other hand, Rice is on a quick week as well.
Yeah, but they're not having to prepare for a triple option. Okay. I mean, people are used to that.
Well, just like they're accustomed to being at home, huh?
Just saying.
Okay. Well, that's the other side of that story. In terms of the national audience, I'm still trying to figure out what ESPN was thinking in terms of, let's go to Charlotte and do Sports Center. What is it that makes it so intriguing today?
I guess just to get the anchors and stuff out to college campuses. It's not a college game day like show, but they're just having Sports Center from the quad there, basically between the Health and Human Services building, and I mean I can't exactly pinpoint and describe it where it's at on the map of the campus, but it's right down the walkway from the student union. So why they're doing that, I don't know, but
I mean, because my thing is ESPN and Sports Center, they don't show up in Charlotte for major league sports. So,
maybe it's, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because it was their game that they're covering tonight, and last I checked, I don't know how many games are going on in the FBS tonight. As a matter of fact, one, Charlotte and Rice. So maybe they figured, okay, well, if we're covering this game on our major network, why not go out there and have Sports Center from there?
Well, and ESPN does have a Charlotte campus as well, so yeah. I guess that could maybe be part of that. But if this is the only FBS game going on, this last game standing, I guess, why not?
Yeah, because there's one tonight, then 2 tomorrow, Tulsa, Oklahoma State, and Iowa and Rutgers. But this is the only one on the docket tonight, and it's on ESPN. It's not on ESPN2 or ESPNU. It is on ESPN.
On
so
the main network channel. So shout out to ESPN.
Yeah.
Shout out to Charlotte. So in terms of the game itself, what will that look like, considering that Charlotte has a wee bit of momentum coming off a win
Yeah.
on Tim Alvin's birthday. His first as head coach with the 49ers. And perhaps they can parlay that into a second.
Oh, you just said one of my P's, parlay.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be tough because if you look across Rice's roster on defense, their entire defensive front is, I think, 288 plus. So they're very massive on the defense and offensive lines, too. Their offense is unique. They run a form of a triple option, and they've got two running backs that can really hurt you. And then their quarterback, who's only got 182 passing yards through 3 games, but he's got a couple touchdowns on the ground and can really hurt you with his legs, too. So it's hard to prepare for a triple option offense on a full week of practice. It's extremely hard to practice or to prepare for it on, 3-4 practices. So that's the biggest reason I would say Charlotte will be really struggling to win this game. But look, Vegas, they know a lot about spreads. They're usually pretty good with it. So 2.5 in favor of Rice. They're predicting a close game. I don't see anything that suggests it couldn't be a close game. If Connor Harrell performs the way he did against Monmouth, if he performs the way he did against Monmouth, they're probably going to win. 5 all-purpose touchdowns. Really took the next step in his development as a quarterback. But look, I just don't see it. I know for my writing purposes, I hope they can pull off the upset, but I don't see it happening.
I think there's also an extra layer in there in terms of this is also a homecoming of sorts for Rice head coach Scott Abell, who previously coached at Davidson, employed the same type of offense to great effect, had the Wildcats in the FCS playoffs in the past, and a really good football mind. And when you talk about the type of offense that he runs, a lot of people had issues trying to solve it. And for Charlotte, this may just be a preview of some coming attractions because, like, let's say the service academies, they run a lot of the same type of offense where it's ground oriented, plenty of options in the backfield, and can you keep pace and put that offense behind the sticks by controlling the line of scrimmage. So I think that is going to be key to the whole thing. If Rice is able to control the clock, control momentum, pile up points, it's going to be a tough slog for Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte has, in my opinion, if they want to hit the season over, which was 3.5 games, you've got to win this one. Because after this one, I think there's a bye, but then you go to South Florida. And other than their one hiccup against Miami, they've beaten 2 ranked teams, and in games in neither of which they were favored. South Florida's going to be tough. South Florida, they're not winning that game. And then they go to Army. So it's not like
another one of those triple option teams.
Yeah, and I mean Army did have a bit of a hiccup against Tarleton State. I don't know what happened in that game. It was a close one, 3-point loss, but then they turned around and beat Kansas State. So I was like, okay, shake that one off. Now we'll get back to the Army of old. And so, I mean, right there, that's 2 L's that at least I would have to foresee. Who knows? Well, what if Alvin shocks the world and you beats Rice and beats either South Florida or Army? But then you got Temple. I mean, North Texas isn't going to be a slouch. UTSA is not going to be. Tulane, Georgia. I mean, this schedule is murderer's row from here on out.
Yeah. Well,
get the win tonight.
But there are lower hanging fruit than others. Now, the Georgia game, okay, yeah, you can pretty safely put that one out of reach.
East Carolina and Temple may be the only low hanging fruit. And that's
lower than Georgia.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even East Carolina's 2-1 with their only loss being NC State by a touchdown.
Yeah. So I don't know. 3.5. Tonight is a good night to get half of it. Yeah, get half of that out of the way. And I think that with the game being on campus, and even with the short week, like I said, Rice is traveling, so there is something to be said for the wear and tear on the body. I think if Charlotte can get off to a decent start, to where they don't have to put together a rally late, they might be able to do something there. But a lot of that is going to depend on their defense. And I'm not so sure that they've shown enough signs over the first 3 weeks to say they can readily depend on that group to shut anybody down.
That's a fair assessment. Yeah, I don't have any qualms about that because a triple option team can wear you down. In Charlotte, they showed against App State, they wear down a little quicker. Now, sure, we're 3-4 weeks in now. There may be a little bit better condition, but you got a triple option team that's just going to run the clock on you, that's going to run it down your throat, that can pass when need be. That's going to keep the defense on the field a long time. And so if your offense can't sustain drives, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So Charlotte's their main focal point will have to be keeping the offense on the field, not setting themselves way behind the sticks, not getting penalties on early first downs, second downs. That's really the key. Because if you don't do that, and you're off the field, and you're off the field in 3 and outs, or even 1 first down and out, I don't see there's a path to victory in that game.
No doubt, the emphasis is going to have to be on complementary football, disciplined football, because Scott Abell coached teams play with discipline. And so you are going to have, they're not going to go out and beat themselves without getting some help. If somebody pushes them into some mistakes, okay, that's different. Or if you can just straight up whip them at the line, that's different. But if everything else is even, they're not going to mistake themselves into a loss. So, and that's just being around Abell and his teams at Davidson. I would imagine that is pretty much the formula that he's using at Rice as well. So we'll see how that all turns out.
I gave my prediction. What's your prediction?
Well, Rice by a tutty.
Rice by a tutty. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And final score total. The over-under is 41.5. I was going to say 24-21. Rice. So not only do they cover the 2.5-point spread, but the over barely clears too. So,
you say 24-21. I'm going to go 24-17.
That's a tutty, and that would be the over not clearing by 0.5. Woo! I like that. And the sports betting junkie and me just went nuts with that one. I like that one. Okay. We're pretty much on the same page. And look, I know we all in Charlotte, we don't have teams we pull for necessarily, but it's good for business if Charlotte wins this game.
Oh yeah,
nationally televised. That's a good SEO word to put in my story. Nationally televised. So we're gonna get some clicks on this bad boy.
Yeah.
But at any rate, we both think Charlotte's gonna be on the dummy end of this one tonight. But I think moving forward, Charlotte's got to keep game competitive, and it's going to be hard to do that the next 2. So they need to rest up before they travel to South Florida and Army on back-to-back weeks.
Well, let me ask you this: in terms of Connor Harrell, the Charlotte quarterback, has he done enough now to put to rest the argument that maybe he isn't the best option going forward this season?
Maybe he isn't or is.
Or that he is the best.
Yeah.
Option.
Oh, yeah. I think, and you have to take it with a grain of salt and knowing that it was an FCS opponent. A good one, but it was an FCS opponent. I'll use Alvin's word, grit that he showed in that game and just determination to not let the first half affect the team mentality. I think that showed more than anything that he's the leader the team needs. It's like that saying, I'm the hero the city needs and not the one they want, or whatever. The old Batman phrase. But I think just his game has come a long way since App State. And I know it's only been a few short weeks ago, but he doesn't look nearly as rattled in the pocket. He made some really good throws against Monmouth. And the one run where he got in for the touchdown, that was one of the most physical runs I've ever seen in Charlotte. That was he wasn't going to be stopped, and he his feet placement, because he was along the sidelines. I'm like, okay, where did he step out at? But they signaled a touchdown. I'm like, I know we were going kind of crazy in the press box. It was a heck of a run, and he's doing more with his feet, which I have implored for many weeks to do. If he keeps doing that, keeps being accurate with the ball, protecting the ball, there's nothing saying that he's not the guy.
I think the key is to let the young man be himself, and that includes running with the ball. And I know the scheme the first couple of weeks or so were to just let him be a quarterback, but sometimes you just have to say, well, maybe we should just let him be a weapon.
Yeah.
And that includes running the ball. And when you allow a quarterback like Connor Harrell to do the things that will allow him to get comfortable and ultimately start putting that offense on a path to success, you have to be willing to bend some to let him do that and not just stick him back there and say, okay, well, we need you to do stuff with your arm and not necessarily your legs. You let him do the stuff with his legs until you start seeing some success, or until you start changing things up to where you can get some success. But strictly as a passer isn't necessarily enough to bring some success to that offense this year.
Yeah, and like I said, in the Monmouth game, he looked much more willing to do things on the ground with his feet, and so I think that's going to be the key. Just keeping the offense going in the right direction. Period. Let's be honest. The first 2 weeks, we don't want to see that offense come back. That was bad. They know it was bad, so it's not like I'm telling anybody anything or saying anything behind anybody's back. Everyone knows that offense was bad. They looked pretty good against Monmouth, and so take it for what it's worth. I know Alvin keeps preaching. We're going to take the positives, work on the negatives. They were still in 1st and 20, 1st and 15s a lot, so they're going to have to clean up the penalties and things like that. But if they do, we said before the season, a successful season was 3 to 4 wins. It's still obtainable, but there still needs to be a lot of improvement because there are no more teams going forward that are Monmouth. I can promise them that.
Well, at least because they're not FCS schools, there are none of those left.
Well, that's my point. There are no more Monmouths on the schedule, so it's all big boy football. It's all group of 5 football now. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, but we shall see. We shall see. Like I said, we're only mere hours away, and no doubt there will be a good chunk of celebration, parties, and
tailgates.
Who knows what else? There might be some classes missed on Friday as a result.
I've been hearing, but I've been hearing as of right now, there's already a lot of lots shutting down. And I mean, kids are trying to go to class and you got lots shutting down. It's like, because as a Charlotte alum, I know you pay like $480 to $500 to park on that campus. You ain't telling me I can't park there.
Yeah, you want to be able to park wherever you want to park. But then again, when national media shows up,
our money don't matter anymore, I guess.
That's right, because, well, ESPN is paying for the
Yeah,
privilege
so
of
are
being
we.
on your campus.
So are we.
But on the other hand, you're not broadcasting this to the world.
Oh, big whoop.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. But nonetheless, it ought to be an interesting time. Homecoming for Scott Abell. Charlotte's trying to get 2 in a row and put Cameron in a spot to look good in terms of getting to 4 wins on the season.
Yeah.
So we'll just see how that all turns out. And we will certainly follow that. And you should follow it as well on the charlottepost.com. And while you are getting ready to do that, go to our website right now and become a donor, a subscriber, or subscribe to our sports newsletter, which just came out this morning. It comes out every Thursday, and we are reporting on Charlotte, as well as other college sports, high school sports as well, and of course the professionals, because Charlotte is that kind of town, and it takes a lot to keep up with it, and we need your support in order to do that, because while you can access it for free, producing it isn't free. So we depend on you to help us out. Please do so, and we thank you. So until the next podcast, I'm Herb, that's Cameron, and on behalf of everybody here in beautiful Derrida, thanks for watching and listening.